Hare Krishna, my name is Balaram Das, and we are continuing our series of demons in Vrindavan and what they represent, Krishna Bhakti, Living Theology. So today we'll be discussing Putana. So Putana is a demoness that Krishna killed, as described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Putana was, a very evil personality. She was a witch. She would go around and kill young babies. So she was ordered by Kamsa to go and try to kill Krishna. So that's what she did. She went and she disguised herself as a very beautiful young woman. And she went to breastfeed Krishna. She had poison on her breasts, and the idea was to kill Krishna. And of course, she was unsuccessful. Krishna killed her. He sucked out her life air along with the milk, and he killed her. Now, looking at this particular pastime, we see that Krishna, he didn't send Putana to hell, or he didn't punish her, but actually what he did is he awarded her a position in the spiritual world. And the idea is that although she had ill intent, she was trying to feed Krishna, so Krishna saw that, whatever small goodness was there. And he awarded her a position in the spiritual world. So in relation to surrendering to Krishna, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharmam prityaja mamekam sharanam vraja, surrender to me, do not fear, do not hesitate, I will protect you from all sinful reactions or bad reactions. So it is described by our previous acharyas. The question is brought up, why should we surrender to Krishna? One of the main answers that our previous teachers give is that because we cannot find anyone more merciful than Krishna, we cannot find anyone more kind than Krishna. And in the Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, chapter 2, text 23, there's a particular verse which is describing the mercy of Krishna. And this verse is, "Alas, how shall I take shelter of one more merciful than he who granted the position of a mother to a she-demon, Putana, although she was unfaithful and she prepared deadly poison to be sucked from her breast." So this particular verse, Uddhava, he's asking a question, how can I find anyone more merciful than Krishna? That even someone who came to kill him, Putana, he awarded her a position in the spiritual world. So it's absolutely amazing, actually, because if you think of some conceptions of God that are out there, these conceptions of God, if someone was coming to kill God or try to kill God, or even sometimes just for a thought crime, then the conception of God that some people have is that God or that supreme person will cast that person to hell forever. So we see how merciful Krishna is, that he doesn't, not only does he not send Putana to hell, but he awards her position in the spiritual world. So that's something to think about. In relation to what Putana represents, there's a few things she represents. One, she represents a deceitful person, or a so-called guru, who preaches sense gratification or liberation or both. So the idea is that for one who preaches or one who teaches religion, the goal is not economic development or sense gratification or even liberation, or you could say going to a higher destination or freedom from suffering. But the real goal is love of God. It's nothing material. So these so-called gurus or so-called teachers, just as Putana, she disguised herself as a very beautiful woman, these religious preachers from any tradition, they also disguise themselves as preachers of truth, preachers of religion, but they're guiding people in the wrong way. So, and then another aspect of the teachers is that it may be a Krishna conscious person. a person engaged in Krishna conscious activity but has not realized the course of pure devotional service and tries to give instructions to his disciple beyond his own understanding or without regard for their situations. So for example, you have a particular station in life or a particular way of life called the Babaji stage, in which a devotee will just simply chant Hare Krishna practically all day and night, which is an authentic stage. Devotees usually retire to Vrindavan or Mayapur and just worship Krishna in the form of his holy names, non-stop. But you do have people who do that prematurely, or you have people who do that for the wrong reasons. So, for example, you may have a Babaji in Vrindavan, for example, Radhakund, who has not realized certain truths about his own spiritual identity and the identity of others. So, but someone may come and he may tell them, actually, in the spiritual world, you are in this particular position as a cowherd boy or as a cowherd girl. And he gives certain details to that particular person regarding their eternal situation. Whereas they still may be very engaged in the material world and not spiritually realized. So this is an example. Putana also represents these types of persons who cheat in the name of Krishna consciousness. So the second thing Putana represents is the inwardly manifest spiritual guide in the form of mundane empiric reasoning. In other words, the material mind. So the doubting, skeptical mind, the uncontrolled mind that takes us all over the place. And as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, the mind could be our best friend or our worst enemy. So Putana also represents that, the materially conditioned mind. So yeah, these are some thoughts in relation to Putana and what she represents. And there's a beautiful article by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur about this. It's quite detailed, and the language is high, very high vocabulary he uses. But we could include a link in the below if you have interest in reading that article, or you could just look it up. You could look up Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's article titled Putana. Right? So it's a very beautiful article, and he gets into more of these points in great detail. So those are a few thoughts, and thank you very much. Hare Krishna.